is self-evident that Rick Sanchez has got more than a few issues.
And I'll go out and I'll find some more of that Mulan Szechuan teriyaki dipping sauce, Morty.
But what exactly are they? I wanted to answer that question for you guys today, so I forced my sister, who's a licensed psychologist for the last 5 years, to watch all 8 seasons of Rick and Morty with me, and here's what she had to say. And, oh boy, this list is long, starting with... This one's probably the most obvious choice. To put it mildly, Rick has an inflated sense of self-importance and believes he's way more intelligent than everyone else.
Jesus, he's not a fucking god.
You don't know what I am. You don't know what I can do. It's cool, Rick. I'm Doctor Who in this motherfucker. I could be a clone. I could be a hologram. We could be clones controlled by robots, controlled with special headsets that the real Rick and Morty are wearing while they're fucking your mother.
Now, that may be true, but he uses it as an excuse to be an asshole at all times, especially towards his family.
You can't do it, can you? You can't just fucking apologize.
Okay, Beth. I'm sorry. You think you deserve an apology.
When Rick went with Morty to help the Vindicators defeat Worldender, he didn't take them seriously. Like, at all.
And this time he's out to end more than worlds. We have reason to believe his stronghold is located on
My balls.
And he looked down on them the whole time.
Yeah, just a few more design notes. This guy,
I am Croc your bot.
Right.
Rick hated the idea of Morty looking up to someone who was inferior to himself.
I hope you're happy with the adventure so far, Morty. These guys are even lamer than last time.
The night before, the Vindicators had planned to attack Worldender, Rick got blackout drunk and took a dump on their main table. He was utterly shameless about it. Didn't even look like he was embarrassed at all.
Oh, God.
Good morning. Looks like your grandpa had a long night.
Gotta hand it to him though. I would not be able to show my face in public for months if I did that. Possibly ever. Maybe a brief inquiry with a plastic surgeon. Then, Rick stumbled into Worldender's lair.
Real fucking on alert, high alert over here.
What the fuck?
It's Worldender.
And finished him off himself.
Rick, what's going on, buddy?
Obviously, I came here last night during a blackout.
Obviously.
You'd think he'd call it a night after that, but no. Rick sets a series of puzzles they had to solve and booby-traps the place so they couldn't get out of playing his game. As if things couldn't possibly get worse, Rick had no recollection of his antics from the previous night, which of course in turn meant he didn't remember any of the answers to the puzzles he himself created.
And because, like I said, I don't remember last night.
I told you not to invite this mummified motherfucker back.
Like, I get that there's something about, going back to media and wishing you could relive it all over again, but maybe let's save it for things that are a little less dangerous.
You have to hit 5 3-pointers in 5 minutes, or I don't know. The whole planet will get blown up with a neutrino bomb.
Okay, moving on. The long and short of it is that Rick definitely has a problem.
Aloha means has nothing to do with this room. I'm so fucking drunk.
He completed the Vindicator's entire mission, not because he wanted to help out, but because he just wanted to rub it in their faces that they're subpar superheroes at best, and that Rick himself is so much better than them.
Look, I'm a little more complex than you guys, and no offense, but I've always suspected that a lot of what you do in a year could be knocked out in a couple of hours.
Rick loved being admired, even though deep down he hated himself. He valued external validation way more than he let on. When Rick set up those traps for everyone to solve, one of them was to put the one thing he valued on the platform.
The Vindicators are full of shit, but you do have one thing that I'll never have. And that thing is the only part of the Vindicators with any value to me.
Morty assumed it was him and took his place.
Or... Oh shit.
Then a video played in which a teary-eyed Rick was telling him how much he cares about it.
Looks like I'm never gonna see you again. I can't really roll with the hero types, and they don't want me around, but I want you to know, even if I didn't show it at the time, I really appreciated you sticking by me.
But it turned out not to be for Morty at all. Rather, it was for Noob Noob, a side character who barely had a role in the story or a relationship with Rick for that matter.
You're different, Noob Noob.
Motherfucker.
You're fucking cool, and you're smart, and I bet we could have hung out and shit, and I hope you get to be a full-fledged vindicator.
The mad scientist just loved the guy because he'd laugh at Rick's jokes, while no one else was amused.
It's not all bad, though. They were spared having to see their grown son wear a whistle. God damn! Thanks, Noob Noob.
I have to ask now, though, why was the most intelligent man in the universe so honored that Noob Noob, side character extraordinaire, found him funny?
Can't forget about the one who never seems to get a chance. Noob Noob. All the bitches come around for Noob Noob. His dick gets more visits than you too.
Who the fuck is Noob Noob?
Rick's also not above manipulation. He does it to Morty, Jerry, or really anyone, because no one is off limits for the guy.
Your mom wouldn't have accepted me if I came home without you and your sister, so now you know the real reason I rescued you. I just took over the family, Morty, and if you tell your mom or sister I said any of this, I'll deny it, and they'll take my side because I'm a hero, Morty.
He's not completely devoid of empathy at times, although our psychologist didn't think he'd be a sociopath. He does, however, sometimes feel awful over how things play out.
I put a lot of strain on your marriage. It wasn't fair. I'm sorry.
What?
I didn't respect your marriage. I certainly didn't do it any favors, and for what it's worth, I'll apologize to Beth for it when we get home.
But it's usually too late when he comes to his senses. His narcissism makes him feel like he has a right to teach everyone else a lesson, and he often takes things way too far.
You act like prey, but you're a predator. You use pity to lure in your victims. It's how you survive. I survive because I know everything.
Now, we could pick any number of different occasions from within the show which showcases this, but for my money, this is probably the most extreme. Namely, the moment Rick put Morty and Summer into a simulation to teach them not to take his phone charger.
Rick put us in a simulated reality to teach us a lesson about taking his phone charger and not giving him back, and then he fell asleep and forgot about us for the Matrix equivalent of 17 years.
Yeah. Genius idea. Let's put our grandkids into an interminable Matrix simulation because they borrowed a phone charger for too long. And by too long, I actually mean 17 years. It was supposed to be just for a little bit, but Rick took a nap while they were in there and, kind of due to time dilation stuff, yeah, 17 years.
What the hell? Oh shit, how long was I out?
17 years for a phone charger. Neither of Rick's grandkids were the same after that, all because they didn't give his charger back.
Can't, my phone's dead.
You need a charger? Use mine.
Oh, you're gonna give that back, right? Because I can't impress upon you.
Good God. And it's not just narcissism. He can be a hypocrite at times because he feels the rules that apply to everyone else don't apply to him. Or at least the rules he applies to everyone. Case in point, that one time Rick went into his car battery when it stopped working.
You have a whole planet sitting around making your power for you? That's slavery.
It's society. They work for each other, Morty.
Rick had built a whole universe in there to generate electricity for him and wanted to see why there was no more power coming out. But when Rick discovered that another scientist there, named Zeep Zanflorp, had done precisely what Rick had done, well, Rick got quite high and mighty.
You got the people on this world slaving away making your power? I mean, that's what I call slavery.
Which is a little ironic and, as we said, very hypocritical.
What the hell was that? What are you doing telling this guy that his mini-verse is unethical? Do you not see the hypocrisy here?
He had created a universe within their universe to generate power for them. Namely, exactly what Rick had done. Exactly like Rick. He even had an opium addiction. It was like a slightly twisted mirror within a mirror within a mirror within a mirror. Okay, the analogy's getting a little bit off track. Rick was furious, and the two began a contest to see who was the bigger narcissist. Rick kept repeating how wrong Zeep's actions were and refused to acknowledge that the guy was practically Rick in a different body. Rick would rather die than be vulnerable. He uses sarcasm and alcohol to hide how he really feels. The first time we get a sign of this was in Rick's Business, during the crazy party Rick, Morty, and Summer threw.
Why do you party?
To get riggedy wrecked, son!
It's like every time Rick's wasted and gets up to crazy shit, you can see it coming from a place of pain and escapism.
He got these crystals. And these babies just saved this lame-ass party! Wubba lubba dub dub!
Maybe not on the first watch, but on second or third, his behavior starts making a lot more sense, especially once you've got more context and more content to kind of really zone in on these moments.
Do you know what wubba lubba dub dub means?
That's just Rick's stupid nonsense catchphrase.
It's not nonsense at all. In my people's tongue, it means, I am in great pain. Please help me.
Rick's alcoholism was never a quirk. He uses substances as a shield that can be a huge problem when you have technology to explore different universes. He's definitely taken drugs that mere mortals like us could never imagine, nor could we get up to the diabolical things that he does while on said substances. Like fractal dust.
We can purify the resin and make fractal dust.
Oh, I was thinking velocitinis, but...
Aw, old man Rick can't party with the whole planet.
Which he did lots of in his short fling with Unity. Most of their time together was spent having a giant bender, but they seemed to enjoy each other's company a lot. That is, until she left him at the end of the episode, just leaving a note and poof. She even admitted that she cared for him, but had to leave because he was a terrible influence on her, and she couldn't keep going the way that they were.
But I know how it goes with us. I lose who I am and become part of you. Because in a strange way, you're better at what I do without even trying.
And let's be honest, it's hard to blame her. She nearly lost control of her hive mind, a thing that she'd worked on for years and worked so long and hard to build up to what it become.
I think you're getting what you wanted, Summer. Something's happening to Unity.
All because she was too busy getting high with Rick.
I can let go. Hey, look. You see that town across the river? Watch this.
Whoa! Whoa, that's not what I meant!
Having him around just made her want to have fun and forget everything. Rick took this horribly, and that brings us to his next problem. His self-destructive tendencies and suicidal ideation, which are ultimately a symptom of depression and borderline personality disorder. After Unity bailed on him, he went home and got super drunk, then tried to kill himself. It was shocking because none of us watching the episode at first thought it was that deep. Just a breakup. A wild one, but a breakup nonetheless. I don't know about you guys, but I personally was incredibly surprised. Diane was the one he was obsessed over, and everyone else just treated his fling with Unity as just that, a fling, a temporary distraction.
You and Unity are like leggings and mid-calf boots. You think you're great together, but you're just bringing out the worst in each other.
Maybe Rick wasn't that attached to her and just missed not being lonely. This was the one time he actually tried to recreate the happiness he once had, and when he couldn't get it back, he just couldn't bear it. Or maybe Rick did it because he realized he was toxic and bringing everyone else down with his own destructive behavior.
You're afraid the big bad hive mind is gonna steal your grandpa away.
Actually, no. I think Unity's great and you're a horrible influence on it.
What?
Another way his depression manifests is through his nihilistic beliefs.
Nobody gets it. Nothing you think matters. This isn't special. This is happening infinite times across infinite realities.
Including this?
Yes!
Rick believes nothing really matters. I guess seeing enough universes get destroyed and being replaced with similar ones will do that to a guy. And burying your own dead body in your backyard probably doesn't help with that either. Morty was horrified and struggled with the whole thing. In fact, it comes up a number of times throughout the show as something that really traumatized Morty. As for Rick, he just told the kid they can only do this a couple more times tops and moved on with his day.
What about the reality we left behind?
What about the reality where Hitler cured cancer, Morty? The answer is don't think about it.
Rick may just have borderline personality disorder because he definitely shows some signs. A person with his illness has low self-worth. They're impulsive, codependent, and feel vulnerability and being hurt.
Rick!
I don't trust you. You ghosted me to focus on your work. Your work is absorbing the universe, but it's my universe.
Because of these things, they tend to sabotage many of their relationships, either by pushing people away when they get close or ending relationships abruptly over something small.
I'm calling them that, Rick. They're my heroes. Mine.
Huh. No accounting for taste. I'm gonna go get a drink.
They also have a lot of self-destructive tendencies, and that is nearly what Rick is all about. He loves sabotaging any chance of happiness he gets. Great example, the episode Hot Rick when Rick was dating Bagan. She invited him to her parents' tournament. When they asked him how they knew each other, Rick casually told them they've been hooking up for a few months.
Known my daughter a long time, eh?
I have, though Bagan and I have only been hooking up for a few months.
What?
This was not okay at all, especially in their culture, something he would have known if only he'd bothered to find out.
You're a genius and you looked up nothing about my culture?
I took my wife out of my head. I'm going through a lot.
Wait, doesn't that mean he's not going through a lot? Wasn't that the whole point of doing it in the first place? Slightly self-defeating. Bogan's parents sent Rick into a duel with Bogan's ex, Jackpoo, because he violated their meeting rituals. But mid-duel, he got annoyed with fighting Jackpoo because Bogan asked him not to kill Jackpoo.
Please don't kill Jackpoo!
This is what happens when you listen to people. You end up in a fighting pit with an ex-boyfriend you're not allowed to kill.
The only other way the duel would have ended is if one of them had accepted defeat. Bogan asked him not to kill Jackpoo, and there wasn't a snowball's chance in hell Rick was going to let his pride take a hit. So what did he do? He just ditched everything and went home to salvage any of Diane's memories that he could.
Read the fucking room, dude.
I am! It doesn't seem like your dead wife was the problem.
Oh, yeah? So we're all in agreement. Guess I'll just go undo it then.
He texted Bogan, but she left him on red, and frankly, understandable. Rick totally sabotaged a good thing he had going. And what for? Decades-old memories of someone who doesn't exist anymore in any universe?
He was dead. He's a weird thought creature. He was never alive. Whatever. I'm gonna fucking go hang out with Bogan.
That's still going on?
It's moments like this where it's hard to guess he's the most intelligent man in the universe. When Beth and Jerry go on the Titanic cruise, they leave Rick behind at home with Summer and Morty.
Not one thing out of place. Not a single thing.
Since at least one adult's around, stuff can't get too crazy, right? Spoiler alert, it was not fine.
Well, we're past the point of no return. I'm gonna have a party.
Rick threw a huge party and the house got wrecked. It wasn't just the booze either. He also indulged in Calaxian crystals and just wanted to keep on partying.
And these babies just saved this lame-ass party! Wubba lubba dub dub!
And that's when Morty took on the responsible adult role and shut the whole thing down.
Hey. All right, everybody, party is officially over. Rick, take us home now.
All right, fine, Morty.
BPD patients often don't know when it's time to call it quits, especially when it comes to substance abuse. Rick definitely downplays his intense fear of abandonment, but sometimes it shows.
Whatever you say, Stone Cold Steve Austin. I don't know why I just said that. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but gotta stand by it. Whatever you say, Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm owning it.
It could be why Rick Prime also killed Diane.
No!
He'd rather have her wiped from everywhere by his own hand than risk having her walk out on him in the future on her own terms.
She's also been erased from every universe across infinity, and you might be wondering why.
Rick's also super codependent on Morty. Yes, partly for the brainwaves things.
See, when a Rick is with a Morty, the genius waves get canceled out by the, Morty waves.
But also, it's kind of notable that people with BPD have a person they fixate on to an unhealthy amount and would do anything to keep that person with them.
You're crying? Over a Morty? No, I'm just allergic to dipshit.
We've seen this multiple times throughout the show. He acts like Morty's completely useless and puts him down, but Morty deserves way more credit. Remember when he and Morty went into the alien spa that cleared out all of their insecurities and completely extracted their toxicity?
We're not in hell, Morty. We're in the detoxifier. The machine didn't blow up, it worked normally. It removed our toxins. We're the toxins. Are you listening, you stupid little garbage person? We're what got removed!
Morty used his new positivity to become a stockbroker, get rich, and move away to live with his new girlfriend.
Totally understand, Dwayne. You're the boss. Heinholz Biotech, $1.5 million at 33.
You little fucking monster.
Rick, on the other hand, didn't like not having his toxicity anymore and became one with Toxic Rick and even dragged down Morty with him.
You poor, dumb, sick animal.
Rick.
Just do it! Just do it, you piece of... I'm back, baby!
I get that it was somewhat necessary and we're being a little disingenuous here, but there is definitely a message here about how in love and tied to his toxicity Rick is.
Think I'd give a shit? I know you give a shit, dummy, because I know I don't.
That said, as we were saying, still somewhat necessary, because what kind of show would we have if the main characters were happy, well-adjusted people? Doesn't really work.
I'm back, baby! Regular Rick! Master of both worlds! Check it out! Excuse me.
Maybe the toxic Rick and Morty could have found some sneaky way to get back in with them rather than Rick actively supporting it, but it just goes to show that, for the most part, Rick has been his own worst enemy.
Nice try, asshole. We can resolve our issues. We don't need to resort to over-the-top.
Maybe that's the point the writers were trying to make here. Rick didn't want to let go of the negative parts of himself because he found a weird comfort in them. But having his toxicity removed at the alien spa was such an easy, clean break, and he threw it away because he didn't know who he was anymore once all his trauma and toxicity were gone.
I don't think I can just blow this off, Morty. If I had known it worked this way, I wouldn't have detoxed. Well, I would have because I was toxic. Now I'm detoxed and I'm accountable to my toxins, right? It's a dilemma.
And that's why he wanted it back, and Rick made sure to keep Morty right there with him.
Sorry, tiny American psycho. Time to take the opposite of your medicine.
Do what you gotta do.
Rick has gone to some crazy extremes to make sure his adventures with Morty aren't interrupted.
Device, Morty, that when you put it in your ear, you can enter people's dreams, Morty. It's just like that movie that you keep crowing about.
You talking about Inception?
Like going into Mr. Goldenfold's dreams with Morty because the kid wasn't doing well in math class.
Allah Akbar! We're gonna take control of this plane. We're gonna 9/11 it unless Morty Smith gets better grades in math.
It's not like Morty couldn't get those grades if he spent a little time studying, but Rick just wanted him around all the time.
You're gonna help me with my science, Morty, all the time.
Jeez, Rick, in the time it took you to make this thing, couldn't you have just, helped me with my homework?
If he genuinely cared for Morty, he could have helped him with his homework and taken him on fewer adventures, but that's another counter to his narcissistic traits.
You listening to me, Morty? Homework is stupid. The whole point is to get less of it.
Of course, the litany of things wrong with Rick's personality and mind doesn't stop there. Another one, of course, is antisocial personality disorder, and people with antisocial personality disorder don't really care about other people's rights and can be aggressive at times. It is a running theme in the show that Rick uses everyone around him.
You're gonna help me with my science, Morty, all the time.
Well, for him, they're just a tool for him to use. Rick's never really appreciated all that Morty does for him, or shown him any gratitude in return.
You're lucky I'm not a Rick.
Point taken, but this is no time for art.
He gets super mad when Morty messes up and doesn't hesitate to punish him.
Now you're gonna know everything, Morty. Good job. Way to go, you fucked everything up.
But barely notices when the kid steps up or when he himself messes up.
You wanna die, Morty? Get it, Bebo.
No.
Brace for the ice limit. Here it comes. Wait, are we on Vincenulon 9 or Vincenulon 7?
God forbid he admit to that. And the time Morty asked Rick for the attribute slider shows it.
I want one for the party too.
Do some shit for me, bro.
I helped you kill your nemesis.
Let's not forget, Rick Prime was killed literally 2 episodes ago.
Rick, is it over? Is he not exactly an alive amount of blood?
It's a little soon to forget that, but clearly Rick doesn't appreciate it much. He acts as though Morty owes him all this, and he doesn't need to do anything for the kid himself.
It's my emotional cheat day. I am removing myself from this conversation.
In the episode Forgetting Sarek Mortual, Rick replaced Morty with 2 crows because Morty messed around with the portal gun.
Behold, my wheel of better things than Morty. Come on, baby. No whammies. Stop. Okay, that's it. 2 crows. You're fired.
Dude, if I were 14 instead of Morty, God knows what kind of stuff I would be up to in the lab. Morty's a pretty good kid. In response, Rick just replaced him. Literally, he span a wheel and it landed on 2 crows to be his new sidekicks, and he rebranded himself as Crow Rick.
2 crows! Kicking off my new franchise! The galaxy is our telephone wire! We'll do 1,000 seasons!
Acting like those birds understood him better than Morty ever did.
My God, I get it now. We are gonna shove this crow shit down Morty's throat!
He always told Morty he was replaceable, but spinning a wheel? That's damn harsh. I mean, At least crows are vaguely smart, I guess. Could have been a lot worse. Some of those options on the wheel were pretty diabolical.
What is that?
Oh, that's nothing.
But I see 2 crows written right here beside Gene with donkey brains, half a Paul Giamatti, and sentient shit.
Morty tried to apologize, as you do, but Rick wouldn't hear it. The kid is 14. Cut him some slack. And honestly, Rick just loved bullying him.
Yeah! Ugh, jerk!
Think back to season 1 when he dragged Morty out of bed and made him smuggle mega seeds in his butt.
Should have put them way up inside your butthole, Morty.
In my butt?
Put them way up inside there, as far as they can fit.
Oh, jeez, Rick. I really don't want to have to do that.
Literally episode 1, guys. Episode 1, the rectum smuggling. Yeah. Rick had a portal gun all this time, by the way, and I'm sure if he'd thought about it, he would have found a way to get the seeds out without going through customs at all.
Did you get those seeds all the way up your butt?
Yeah, Rick. Let's just get this over with, okay? I mean, these things are pointy. They hurt.
Rick just wanted to mess with Morty. Sure, he has his moments of care, but Rick never really improved his treatment towards Morty.
Take it easy, Rick. That's dark.
Oh, it gets darker, Morty. Welcome to the darkest year of our adventures.
Rick loves making Morty feel bad. Like in season 7, there's that scene with the observers where they replay Rick tricking Morty into licking an ape's nostril.
Rick! What the hell are you doing? Saving the universe, I think. Right, Rick?
Rick literally pulls the end of the world card, telling Morty that the world will end if he doesn't lick the nostril. And Morty actually throws himself at the thing and shoves his tongue up its nose because he trusts his grandpa.
What the hell? You told me I was a hero.
You were that night.
And that's the sad part. Morty thought he was saving everyone. And nope, just a prank. Rick only did it to see if Morty would fall for it and laugh about it afterwards. Dick! Honestly, it's not surprising. Rick constantly puts Morty down, calling him things like idiot, little turd.
Fucking idiot.
You're a serious fucking idiot, Morty. You basically killed us all. You're as dumb as a bag of sand. Idiot, Morty. You're Rick. The dumbest thing I've ever laid eyes on. An idiot, dumb Morty. What an idiot. What a dumb Morty.
The kid's only 14, and that stuff sticks. This is someone who's supposed to be Rick's carer, grandparent, someone who loves him unconditionally.
Because he doesn't care. Because nobody's special to him, Summer. Not even himself.
And beyond that, it's someone who Morty in many ways idolizes, looks up to, believes can do nearly anything, and has seen some proof of that.
Good to see you outside the sub-basement. Even if you never killed a version of yourself that killed your wife. Giving it your best shot? It looks good on you.
Thanks, buddy. It means a lot that your bar for mental health has gotten lower than mine.
The end result, though, is that Rick is still calling him these things, and it's not random. Rick switches between being cruel and suddenly caring, which keeps Morty emotionally hooked. That on and off behavior is a classic control tactic.
Rick, I knew it. I knew you wouldn't leave me. Ow!
You see it a lot in narcissistic relationships. He embarrasses and endangers Morty under the excuse of adventure, but really, it's about power. Their bond isn't cute or wholesome, it's a messy cycle of control, guilt, and attachment that neither of them fully gets away from.
That of fake acid? Are you dying of dementia?
How are you talking to me like this? When did you get so cocky?
Tonight!
I can't even imagine how much therapy Morty would need, and that's enough for a whole video on its own. We'll do this one as a sequel if people like the idea of it. Let us know in the comments below. Rick has definitely got schizotypal personality disorder. It's a mental health condition where people often feel really uncomfortable forming close relationships.
Rick, the only connection between your unquestionable intelligence and the sickness destroying your family is that everyone in your family, you included, use intelligence to justify sickness.
They might see or interpret things in unusual ways, behave in ways others find weird, or hold beliefs others find unusual.
I don't respect therapy. It's helped a lot of people get comfortable and stop panicking, which is a state of mind we value in the animals we eat, but not something I want for myself.
It would be an understatement to call Rick emotionally withdrawn. The guy's practically allergic to showing affection and talking about his feelings. Rick definitely shows all the symptoms. He's super uncomfortable with the idea of getting close to anyone and rarely shows affection.
I know, you can't get close because of your wife who died 40 years ago, I know.
Hell, the man turned himself into a pickle to avoid talking about his feelings. In The Old Man in the Seat, we saw Rick at peak pettiness.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got a quick solo adventure to go on, and this one will not be directed by Ron Howard.
He's gonna go poop. When Grandpa Rick pats his belly like that and leaves without Morty, it means he's going to go poop. He's a shy pooper. He has a secret pooping place.
Rick created a toilet for himself in a serene, isolated universe. The toilet was meant to be for him and only him. Then he found out that another guy had been using it. Tony.
I believe this is yours. You dropped that.
This guy wasn't some big evil alien who was out to get Rick by messing with the sanctity of his toilet. No, he was just a regular guy who liked the toilet too. Hell, I would love to visit the toilet. Maybe not the response that Rick showed, because Rick turned it into an all-out war.
You're actually gonna, oh God.
In the end, Rick didn't learn his lesson and even pretended to make peace with Tony, telling him he could use the toilet if he wanted.
I brought him some vegan fiber chili, delicious family recipe, and a box of these chocolates, sugar-free. He can eat as many of these as he wants. Anyways, just wanted to drop these off, and you tell him the toilet's all his. He'll know what I mean.
The poor guy killed himself before he could, and Rick had set up holograms of himself that'd pop up and mock Tony when he went.
There he is! There's our guy! Congrats, Tony! Have fun with your stupid toilet that you get to use all by yourself now!
Even at his funeral, Rick refused to admit that Tony was his friend.
I understand. It's hard losing a friend.
Fuck you.
What?
He's not my friend.
It's straight up sadistic, yes, but it's also just kind of sad. There's no other way around it. The episode ended with Rick sitting on the seat, the holograms all laughing at him, and it was very ironic punishment. These little traps and holograms that were supposed to mock and punish Tony ended up just being reflected back at Rick himself.
Look at you sitting there, king shit on his throne of loneliness. Enjoy this toilet with 1,000 of me screaming every time you take a shit.
Now, I briefly mentioned it earlier, but it's probably important we also look at the Pickle Rick episode.
I turned myself into a pickle, Morty! Boom! Big reveal, I'm a pickle.
Because yes, Rick turned himself into a pickle, memes on the internet notwithstanding, mostly because he just didn't want to go to therapy and talk about his feelings with his family.
Rick, did you do this on purpose to get out of family counseling?
Morty!
As bizarre and hilarious as the whole situation was, it wasn't just another one of the show's crazy sci-fi gags, though of course it was that. The underlying message was that Dan Harmon admitted that this transformation was a metaphor for Rick's alcoholism.
Forget the girl altogether, she's probably nothing but trouble anyways.
Armin neutrino bomb.
That's it!
It's kind of like how you keep pickles in vinegar to stop them from changing, only in this case, you're keeping yourself soaked in alcohol so you don't have to deal with reality or all of that emotional baggage you've been lugging around for literal decades. At first glance, it's just Rick doing something crazy and bragging about it.
Here's something that's never happened before. I'm a pickle! I'm Pickle Rick!
Standard Rick and Morty stuff. Turning himself into a pickle to avoid responsibility. Hoo hoo ha ha, cue the laugh track. But that's exactly the point. The episode exaggerated Rick's habit of running from stuff that makes him emotionally vulnerable. Instead of facing the discomfort of therapy, he literally became a vegetable.
Rick, why did you lie to your daughter?
So I wouldn't have to come here.
It's like he's physically incapable of facing his emotions by turning himself into something that's ostensibly non-sentient, which is hilarious considering it's Rick, smartest man in the universe, aside, of course, from when it comes to emotions. Once the family was gone for therapy, Rick had this crazy adventure on his own, which involved fighting rats in the sewer and later taking down an entire embassy.
Farewell, Solenia.
It just goes to show how Rick can survive literally any hardship, except the terrible task of facing his own emotional ones. On one hand, there's this genius level inventing combat strategy, problem solving. On the other, his complete inability, or maybe not inability so much as unwillingness to process his feelings. And yes, there are a lot of feelings, there is a lot of trauma, but few things scare Rick in the wide multiverse.
Don't believe everything you read on Wikipedia.
Stand down. He's not afraid of pirates.
Oh, run, Morty! That part was true!
But self-reflection? It's gotta be getting towards the top of the list. Even the therapist, Dr. Wong, called Rick out directly on all of this.
I have no doubt that you would be bored senseless by therapy, the same way I'm bored when I brush my teeth and wipe my ass.
And it was completely true. no matter how much Beth wanted to believe otherwise. Beth was just so grateful to have him back in her life, her father.
Please don't leave me again.
I never will, baby.
That she let Rick get away with a lot.
It's him or me.
Seems like you guys need some privacy. I'll be in the garage.
I hate to say it, but sometimes I actually agreed with Jerry when he tried to tell Rick to take Morty on fewer adventures so the kid could focus on school.
More importantly, your father is a horrible influence on our son.
Sure, Jerry is your boring suburban dad, your Homer Simpson analog for Rick and Morty, but he has a point here. Rick's self-destructive behavior didn't just hurt him, it tore through his family too.
Dad, how could you make my son miss an entire semester of school?
He abandoned Beth when she was a kid, and that left a mark.
Dad? Oh, hey, kiddo.
Where are you going?
I'm, heading out for a bit. Don't wait up.
Why are you leaving?
Work stuff.
Even now, Beth and Jerry constantly argue about Rick, and much of that tension stems from Rick's baggage and the chaos he brings into all of their lives.
Why are we doing this? For someone that would never do anything for anyone but himself.
Another example of Rick's emotional withdrawal has got to be the time when Morty was plugged into the game, Roy, A Life Well Lived, and his conscious mind split into 5 billion fragments, all the game's NPCs.
The world is united because the world is one 14-year-old boy, Morty.
Rick had to go in there himself and tell everyone to unite and leave the game so Morty could be whole again.
I jacked in as Roy, that's the player character, to get you, my grandson Morty, out of the game before it's over and you die.
92% of them said yes, but 8% of the Morty fragments refused. They said they'd go with Rick on one condition.
Rick, I'll get every single part of me to get on every ship and go with you.
Good.
He had to tell Morty he loved him.
But you have to tell us you love us.
Sounds easy enough, right? Not for Rick. Rick hesitated.
I mean, at this point, even if he said it, what's with the pause?
And isn't that an indictment of Rick and his character? The Mortys took that as a sign that Rick didn't really care about.
You also taught us you don't care about Morty.
I mean, Morty could have lost 8% of his consciousness over Rick's inability to say 3 words. Decades have passed in-game, and in the end, it was Martin Morty who got everyone to leave. I mean, imagine it. Decades! That's crazy! Schizotypal personality disorder, drumroll. 3 points. It's like he physically couldn't bring himself to do it. Even when he does say it, which is rare, Rick plays it down and makes it sound as unserious as he can.
I have a new catchphrase.
Oh yeah? What's that, Rick?
I love my grandkids.
Aww.
Psych, just kidding. My new catchphrase is, I don't give a fuck!
Schizotypal personality disorder, point of the 4th. The way he treats Beth just confirms it.
You matter so little that I like you. Or maybe it makes you matter. Maybe I love you. Maybe something about your mother. Don't jump a gift shark in the mouth.
Before he offered to make Beth a clone, he was going on one of his rants about how nothing matters. Beth, understandably, asked him why he'd offered to do that for her if nothing means anything, and an I love you would have been enough.
Has it occurred to you that I asked you to make those things because I wanted you to spend time with me? Has it occurred to you that if I did try killing Tommy, it might be because I was jealous of his family?
But again, in usual Rick fashion, he had to beat around the bush. I can't imagine what it was like being Beth growing up. Did Rick ever say that he loved her when she was a child? I've always wondered how he was before losing Diane. We only saw glimpses of it, but he looked content. Certainly more than present-day Rick, at least.
I just took a long look at myself, and I don't think this science thing is gonna pay off.
In the final episode of Season 8, it seemed like things were turning around for Rick when he made the difficult decision to wipe all his memories with Diane from his mind. Wait a second, that was an option this whole time? Just remove the trauma? Apparently, yes. Rick did it, and it seemed like a clean break. But think about it for a minute. He had decades to sit with it and let go of her, but he didn't. He was so avoidant he just couldn't do it, and in the end had to resort to this, and personally, I don't think that counts as processing. Certainly not in its entirety, at least. Losing your wife and kid that way could not have been easy. Maybe all the problems Rick displays stems from the trauma of losing them, because in all the clips we've seen of Rick before Prime walked into the garage, he looked way different. His mouth was clean, he didn't slur or look intoxicated, he seemed peaceful, stable, happy. God forbid that for Rick. Spending decades looking for Prime was a trauma response, a way to win back some of the power that was taken away when he lost his family.
Wow, the wife guy. Dead wife Rick. I'll tell you, this guy does not know when to quit. I'm gonna fucking kill you.
He thought that killing Prime would suddenly flip a switch and make him feel okay, but it did not.
How's it feel? Better? No? Exactly the same? Yeah, it always does. Hope you're happy with your choice.
Fuck off.
People who suffer such horrible losses, such massive trauma, can start self-medicating, become extremely cynical, avoid vulnerability, and become obsessed with revenge, and Rick checks all of those boxes time and time and time again. PTSD survivors also have a lot of flashbacks of their traumatic memories, as does Rick. He can't let go of Diane because he relives the trauma in his head constantly and holds onto it like it's some kind of trophy.
Tell you what, old man, seems like losing me made you cooler. I should die more often.
You did.
And he spent so much time doing it that he just doesn't know who he is without it.
Need me for any adventures?
Huh?
Adventures? Remember those?
Oh, yeah, not right now, Morty. Definitely next week, though.
Which is why he abandoned his duel with Jackpot at Bagan's parents' tournament.
It doesn't seem like your dead wife was the problem.
Oh, yeah? So we're all in agreement. Guess I'll just go undo it then.
And why he ran to try and salvage any of Diane's memory that he could. It also explains why Rick reabsorbed his toxic self after leaving the alien spa. Trauma survivors cling to their pain because it's the only thing they have left tying them to the person that they lost, which is exactly what Rick does. His catchphrase alone, wubba lubba dub dub.
And these babies just saved this lame-ass party! Wubba lubba dub dub!
Practically sums it all up.
Morty, do you know what wubba lubba dub dub means? In my people's tongue, it means, I am in great pain. Please help me.
He really does need a lot of help. These unhealthy patterns haven't just been around for years, it's been decades. It would take a lot to undo them and to help Rick learn healthier coping mechanisms so he can have a shot at happiness and moving forwards. In the final episode, Bagan never said no. She just stayed silent and didn't respond to his text at all. Who knows? Maybe she and Rick can patch things up and pick things up again. I, for one, really want to see Rick with her. And that's a wrap on the video. Did you agree with my sister's analysis of Rick? Leave a comment down below and let us know if we missed anything. Before you head out, hit the like button and make sure to subscribe to our channel. See you next time.